Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 13, Race 7 of the Purple Sector F1's stream here. Sorry about that. I am in a new location, a little out of my groove right now. But right now, we're looking at the F1 calendar here. Today, we're racing in the wonderful Las Vegas GP. I don't know about you guys, but I love this track. I think it's such a good track. I know it's kind of new, so there's a lot of hype around it. But nonetheless, I think it's a great one. It kind of looks like a pig, actually. I'll show that in a little bit. But a super exciting thing, ladies and gentlemen, here about our Purple Sector F1 calendar is that this is our first week with 3 races before we hit the 2 week winter break here coming up in December. So I hope you guys are excited. We have some pretty good races here. Obviously, Las Vegas, as I had already mentioned. Coda, which I like as well. I actually got to go to Coda in person. It was the first ever F1 GP I went to in person. Really, really cool. I had seats right out of the S's, which admittedly isn't the best place for overtakes. But it wasn't just me, it was me and a couple buddies. We were high up enough on the bleachers that we were able to see the hairpin down the way there. So we still got to see some overtakes. It was kind of cool. I know Coda is one of those tracks a lot of people are iffy about. I like it. I like to drive it actually. I kind of agree. I think it is a little bit of a train fest, but a lot of our drivers here are pretty good drivers, and they'll make passes in places you wouldn't expect. So look forward to Dakota for sure. And then obviously a fan favorite here, Jeddah. Wonderful, wonderful street circuit. Absolutely, it's such a beautiful circuit to be able to like fly through. I mean, when you're millimeters from the wall as fast as you can go. There's no feeling like it in the first 2 sectors. It's really nice. But then after that, as I'd mentioned, we hit our winter break where I highly encourage everybody to enjoy some time with family. On that note of family, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Whatever you guys decided to do, I send everybody my wishes here. I had a great time, got to spend it with family. In fact, I'm at my parents' home right now, so I do apologize if the stream's a little shoddy. I haven't experienced any frame drops here yet, so it hasn't been terrible. Matter of fact, you guys will have to give me a quick second here. I'm fixing something technical on my end. I am worried that if I get a little too loud, the walls are going to rebound. It's a pretty tiny room that I'm in at the moment, so uh, it could be a little bit of echoing. But let me double check I sound good, guys. I'm pulling up the stream on my end right now. We're still waiting for everybody to load in, so we're not missing out on any action. I'll get to the track stats in a second. Okay, cool. I sound good. All right. Well, I do see 2 viewers. Welcome here, guys. Say something in the chat if you guys are first-time chatters. I love talking to you guys. If you guys are new to F1 racing and are just dropping in because you randomly saw this, please join Purple Sector F1. We love having new drivers. Um, I can send you guys the Discord invite. Again, we offer kind of I wouldn't say immediate mentoring, but there's a lot of people who are willing to mentor new drivers here. So if you just don't feel confident, don't let that dissuade you. Please join. We love to have new people. We have 2 divisions, so this is Division 1, and then there's Division 2, which is a little more dedicated to our newer drivers. So you will be racing with like skilled individuals. Excuse me, taking a little sip of water here. But that's it for the calendar. Excuse me, and a little bit of my yapping here. Let's move on to the track stats, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the pig-like circuit of Las Vegas here, as you guys can see. I think it looks like a pig. I've seen a lot of this opinion. I don't, I think it's a pretty valid opinion to have that it looks like a pig. You guys can tell me otherwise. It looks like an upside down pig, I guess, more specifically here. But the wonderful circuit of the Las Vegas Strip circuit is located in Paradise, Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, and was recently added to the F1 calendar here in 2023. The design, Carson Tilk. This is a new Tilk. I've never said his name before. I need to search up the Tilk family at this point. They've designed so many F1 tracks. I've seen Herman Tilk. There's another guy, another Tilk, and now Carson Tilk. This is the first time I've seen Carson Tilk. So I assume maybe another son, or at this point, who knows how old this individual is. But again, Tilk family, Tilk generation, providing us more and more tracks. I think a pretty good one in this case, especially. The Las Vegas GP is 6.2 kilometers long, 3.9 miles. and it has 17 corners. 11 of these are left-handers and 6 of them are right-handers. Fun facts here for the track design. So you guys can see this here at the starting line in between turn 17 and turn 1, of course. The start finish and the paddock was actually a old parking lot that they repurposed purely for F1. Supposedly it wasn't used, but you know, it's pretty close to the strip, so I'm a little doubtful about how true that is. And then this street circuit is very much Monza inspired, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys here can especially tell. I agree. I feel like it is a very Monza-like circuit, to be honest with you. It's the US Monza, if you ask me. A lot of heavy braking. Not as much medium speed, or excuse me, more medium speed than I think there is in actual Monza. And a little less low speed or corners. I guess turn 14 and turn I believe that is 5. Yes, turn 5 are pretty much the slowest corners we're gonna have here on track. They're just 90-degree turns. Once again, we'll get to see all of this stuff here in a little bit once qualifying starts. We are waiting for a few more drivers, so I thank you guys for your patience. Obviously, with this track being so new, it only has 3 winners since its conception, and 2 of those winners are Max Verstappen. Obviously, Max won the inaugural 2023 race, a wonderful race, a really fun one if you guys ask me. I really liked that one. That was a fun race just because none of the drivers knew what to expect. Obviously, you know you can train for as much as you want, but once you're on that track and once you're in the car, it's a different story. In 2024, George Russell won it, and then obviously this year Max Verstappen recently won it as well. He seems to be pretty good at this track for some reason, and hopefully we'll see him dominate and be the record holder of most wins on this track for the foreseeable future. I'm really excited, guys, about the current World Championship, though. It's looking tight. I mean, it's a 12-point difference, I believe, between Max Verstappen and Lando, and then it's a 14-point difference with Piastri to Lando. I mean, it's anybody's game in Abu Dhabi. All roads lead to Abu Dhabi. it's a, it's gonna be a heater, I think. I'm pretty excited for it. Uh, I'm not too sure who's gonna win. I think it's unfortunately just gonna be one of those like just gonna be luck. I think something might happen to any one of those 3 guys, and it'll give the win to anyone. I think Lando obviously has the biggest opportunity of winning, no doubt. But hey, man, if Antonelli is actually able to keep him behind in Abu Dhabi and keep him in 5th, and Max finishes 1st, he's going to take his 5th. And I think he's the one driver who is capable of doing that. Clodmaster, welcome, first time chatter. Pig Gang, yes, Pig Gang. I love this track so much. But to go really quickly through the corners here, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Not a lot of names on this one. I think since the track's so new, they haven't really come up with a lot of things. In fact, this is the first time I've done this particular style where I like bubble a certain amount of corners, and that's simply because so many of these corners are kind of referred to as like one section, I guess. So uh, turns 1 through 4 are referred to as the pit complex. This is the exit of the pit lane, uh, which again you guys will get to see in track here. And this is where we see our first DRS detection zone here before we hit this nice little long straight. Now turns 1, 2, all the way to 3. It's a pretty nice left-hander. It's a pretty wide. It gets a little tight by the end, as you guys can kind of see. It has a little bit of a nub there before it kind of straightens out. Hits turns 3 and 4. Turn 3 and 4 is a pretty nice little spoon, I guess. It actually, I think it reminds me a lot of Suzuka's spoon, the actual spoon. If any of you guys know that portion of the track that I'm referring to, and I think the end of Sector 2. Very similar, except this time it's going to the right, obviously, instead of going to the left. After that, we hit the DRS straight here. Pretty nice little long straight before we hit a wonderfully heavy braking zone. The start of the City Weave is the name of this following portion's circuit, or excuse me, circuit. Turns 5 through 8, I believe. Wait, 9, excuse me. Turns 5 through 9. So it's a medium speed, I want to say. There is turn 7, which is a pretty heavy, slow left-hander. A lot of rhythm in this section. If you guys were to ask me, I think you have to approach this entire little portion of Sector 2 honestly almost perfectly on the racing line. If you're off the racing line, it can get a little funky. This is a huge, huge time waster if you're fighting somebody. I mean, honestly, it provides a really good overtaking opportunity. Kind of the weird little hook that happens between turns 7 and 9 provides provides again just ample room. The track's pretty wide, and again a good opportunity. Coming out of turn 9, going through turns 10, 11, and 12, it's kind of a dead race down to turn 12. But again, just with how slow that section already kind of is, getting in a fight there really slows everybody down. Even the people behind you kind of can get clogged up. It's kind of hard to stick your nose in there if you're trying to jump in on a two-man fight. But coming out of that, it's a pretty long little portion here between turn 9 and 12. A little bit of a right, a little bit of a left-hander. Nice little swingy sensation. I feel like I'm always going to lose the rears personally, which obviously doesn't happen. I think you'd have to have your tires at like 75% for them to lose out, not lose out in this portion of the track. But turn 12 is going to be a very, very interesting one. I don't know about you guys, but this turn sucks. It has a wall coming right out of it, and if you approach it too fast and too overconfident, you will DNF. So we'll have to see if any of these drivers perform that. Once again, I'll show you guys that when our drivers are doing their quali. We're currently loading in here, so I'll actually try to go a little quicker here. Thankfully, this next portion is pretty simple. This is the DRS Detection Zone 2, or the Vegas Straight, or the Las Vegas Strip here. This is actually going through the Vegas Strip itself. It is one of the longest straights in F1. I didn't search up where it landed. I believe it might be the fourth longest or second. It's one of those two. I know it's not third though. And then there's a 90-degree straight hairpin is the name of it. Turn 14, huge braking zone. Obviously, a lot of overtaking opportunity before we hit the Vegas exit or return alley, which is turn 15 and 16 here. Before hitting once again another straight, ending on turn 17 and crossing the start finish line. But that's enough. I feel like I've rambled on long enough. Let's go on to the game here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn on the audio as well. There we go. Here's the repurposed parking lot we're currently looking at right now. We'll see who comes out first. I hope these guys are as excited as I am. We have 15 drivers on the grid right now. I'm quite excited. That looks like a Williams car or a V carb. That is a V carb right there. Who's coming out right now? A Haas and a V carb. Awesome. Let's see if MSA Samad, guys. Look, currently, MSA Samad is our lead. And actually, excuse me, I got recommended to do something, and I'm going to do that now. I don't know how to turn on the track circuit here. Hold on. On-screen display, full track map. Oh, wait, I do have it on? No, I don't have it on. Why isn't that coming up? Full track map. Sorry, guys. Give me a quick second here. On-screen display. Hmm. I got recommended to turn on the full track map. For some reason, it is not turning on for me. So I do apologize. I did want to show you guys the pig circuit, give you guys a sense of where everybody is here, but we'll just be looking at MSA Samad here for right now. It'll
Hello.
be, oh, hello. Who's joined me here?
So sorry to join you unexpectedly. It's actually right here in your spectator menu. Press F1.
F1.
No, you press escape.
No, no, that's my, oh, here we go.
It's double bound then.
Double bound.
There, yeah, that was it. That was it.
Wait, I'm so lost. So right here. And then where do I go?
Not the start menu.
Not the start button.
Whatever you were in for a second before where you could change
Oh, I see. Okay.
other settings.
Track map, mini map, full map. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you very
Sorry,
much.
I was watching the stream and I wanted you to do that, but it was in a weird place.
No, no, thank you very much. That's kind of weird that I have to go there, but thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's Captain Ahab, president of the Red Bull team. Actually, while I have you here, how do you guys feel?
Uh, it's Vegas, baby. You know,
Ooh, it is Vegas. Sorry,
it's
as you said that,
Vegas.
I think I just saw one of the
I
McLarens hit the
did see
wall.
that. Someone, I think that might have been money.
That was funny. I didn't mean to
Oh
cut you
man,
off though.
no, he ate that corner. Oh my gosh, money. Get control. I think he did some practice, so I think he needs to get that out of his system and get a good lap in.
But I noticed that Despy
We,
isn't joining us here today.
yeah, Dispy's having some last minute Wi-Fi troubles, I guess. So just unfortunate, but I'm sure Max is gonna. I think he likes this track, so should be a good one for us.
Awesome. I'm very excited. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for you guys to get on the podium. I keep mentioning it. I think almost every stream I bring it up one time. So you guys got to
I know
not make me look like a fool. Maybe I should stop mentioning it. Actually, it's
it's
probably
it's
a
it's
commentator curse.
it might be honestly if that's what I could blame it all on, I would. Um, we're I feel like the most unfortunate team this year. We've tried really hard, come close. A lot of small incidents that have big results. So um, we'll get one. Our time will come.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me here, Captain Ahab, and also thank you for the track map thing. I find it very weird that it's down there, but good to know.
Yeah, shout out to Pig, man. You have a good one.
Yes. Big results. Yes, Squad Master. I'm excited. I'm very hopeful here. I think it's going to be a great race. We actually have SP Jabor here in the Ferrari. He's actually, um, I think he is the team principal Ferrari. Excuse me. I'm trying to. I don't have any of my notes. Normally I do this with notes. I'm really freeballing right now. I normally have like a bunch of little things to help me kind of like keep my mind on track. I kind of get lost when I'm talking. But SP Jabor, ladies and gentlemen, is the team principal for Ferrari. He hasn't been able to join us here for most of the season start, but finally is now back as a full-time driver. So big ups to Jabor, and I'm really glad to have him back here. I'm very excited to see him on track. This will be his first track appearance on Vegas, nonetheless. Here, let me jump to somebody who's currently on a fast lap here. Um, oh, and we actually see, I believe that is the car of JM actually, who spun out back there. That is JM. He's currently spun out there at turn 9. A little bit unfortunate place to spin out. I kind of wish we saw what happened there. That's a very odd place to lose the rear if you were to ask me. A little bit of a lockup there, front left tire here from Mudev, as he's actually. Oh, I think we have a red flag. What is this? Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a red flag here. Did somebody DNF? No, nobody DNF'd. Sorry, guys. I'm a little confused as we're seeing the red here. Um, back to Mudev, though. It seems like he backed out of his fast lap. That definitely was, I think that was his fast lap at least. I don't see why he'd lock up the front left there going into turn 12. But we're going down the Vegas Strip here right now. Super pretty place. I've been there one time. I was young, though. Couldn't gamble. Not that you should. Don't gamble. That's how you lose your money. It's the biggest addiction epidemic right now in America. But it's a pretty place to visit. I think. I mean, it's a lot of architecture. It's very pretty. A lot of neon lights. It's kind of one of those like living art pieces, if you were to ask me, I guess. Very, very pretty place to go check out. Mac crosses the line in fourth place. I was actually jumping to go see where how he was doing, but great drive here from Mac, jumping into fourth position. I'm gonna say Samad, who we were watching at the beginning here, currently holding first, a 130.885. Rebel pretty close behind him, only off by 1/100th of a second here, which is almost nothing here. And we actually see a McLaren in the background there hit the wall. I wonder who that was. That may have been Gunner or Money. That was Money who hit the wall there. This is currently the straight in between turns 4 and 5 here, as we're now watching Money set actually purple, a purple sector. Great drive here by Money so far. sticking it on the track, coming up into turn 9. A little bit of an awkward left-hander. Let me jump into the car here as he hits the wall. Super unfortunate there as we jumped into the car, but we'll sit here with money as he finishes the rest of the track. This is turn 11 now here. A little bit of a right-hander. Swipe, or this is turn 11, excuse me. Now it's hitting turn 12. As you guys can see, there's that wall I mentioned, which he actually taps here. A little bit unfortunate. Money's really pushing the car. I did get to talk to Money before the race here, and he had not practiced. I don't believe either of the McLaren drivers had practiced, but he's feeling pretty confident. I mean, he said that he did like the track. Obviously, the fact that he didn't get any time trial laps in kind of sets a little bit of a disadvantage, but he's obviously picking it up pretty quickly considering that he did get a purple sector there in sector 1. As we're watching Money here coming up on the start finish line here on the final straight, hitting turn 17 now. Also a nice little left-hander here. Great time, a 133.174. Honestly, I think if he didn't hit the walls, obviously, could have gotten up there. Money has it in him. I'm excited to see what he's able to do with the remaining 9 minutes here. Let's jump around here to GDB 079 in the Aston Martin, the only Aston Martin driver we have here on track today, as he's warming up his tires coming on the Las Vegas Strip here. Coming up onto turn 14, the straight hairpin, taking it nice and slow. Pretty intense left-hander here. That little portion he just went over on the right is pretty fun. You can pretty much almost put your entire car in that little section, and it won't count as a corner cut because your car is wider than the entire length of corner itself. Turn 1 here, tight little left-hander, as I mentioned previously. Hitting turn 2, coming up into turn 3. And finishing out here on 4, hitting the first DRS zone here. This is a full, since it's a street circuit, this track is turn 5 here, sorry. This track is all public roads, actually. Once again, it's one of the few tracks here in the F1 calendar that are all public roads. It's pretty awesome here. This little portion is the city complex, or the city wave, excuse me. That was turn 8 and 7. Now coming up into turn 9. As you guys can see, really tight. Not tight in width, I guess, but like the zone to mess up is really small. If you mess up, you lose the car in any capacity to there. You lose a lot of time. But as I was saying, excuse me, again, I don't have my notes on me, so I'm just trying to talk about a bunch of topics here at once instead of sticking to something. This is a public road circuit. It was really cool this year, actually. I didn't see this in previous years for some reason, but the week before the race, you can see them setting everything up, and it's still a public road, obviously, so cars are on it, but there's just a bunch of like F1 barriers everywhere, which is really cool. They repaved it. I remember in 2023 when it was first being built, it was a nightmare, like logistical nightmare. I mean, it was brutal. All the residents hated it. But we're watching here, GDB cross turn 17, sticking close, moving up to 10th position, a 133.170. Very strong drive here from GDB. Not a lot of errors, so maybe just didn't feel very confident on the track. Maybe another driver who didn't get much practice. Confidence on this track is key. It is still a street circuit nonetheless, as we're now watching NASCAR Freak cut the corner a little bit there on turn 12 as he's coming up on the Las Vegas Strip now. That may have been a disqualification here from NASCAR Freak DI9. Rebel, though, as I was talking about, that sets the newest fastest lap, a 30.584. We'll have to see if anybody's able to respond. Currently, Rebel and MSA Samad are in leagues of their own. They're the only two drivers here who have broken the minute 31 marker here. Nobody else has gotten close. Prosk is right there. I mean, 1,000th of a second before hitting the 130. I know he's beating himself up for that. Prosk is a very competitive driver. As we're watching NASCAR Freak kind of ride along the pit lane here a little bit. Let's jump over to Reimer here. Reimer has been one of our stronger drivers this recent season. I apologize. I just realized that I did not show the current standings. So I will be doing that in between qualifying to the actual race. That is on me. I do apologize to both the viewers here and the drivers. You guys obviously deserve to see how everybody's doing, as well as how the constructors is going right now. But we're watching Reimer here on his outlap coming up into turn 14, 15, 16 here now. Hitting the final straight of the pig here, the rear of the pig, if you will. Nice little long straight here. No DRS in this section. Coming up to turn 17, crossing the line and starting his fast lap here. Let's throw on some telemetry data here and maybe some lap data. We'll see if he gets a purple sector here. Very close to the wall there on turn 13. Beautiful handling here. Incredibly beautiful handling there. Millimeters away from the wall on turn 14. He is gunning to get into pole position here. Coming up to turn 5. A little bit of a lockup there. Good control, though. Using every bit of wall he can. Even love tapped it there a little bit, as you guys heard. Coming up on turn 7 now. Tight left-hander into a weird, awkward right-hander, and then another tight left-hander once again. I think the rhythm in that section is really odd. It's stop, go, stop, and the stop, and the go, I mean, is like this odd right turn. Uh, we're watching Reimer here use every bit of track he can, though. A little bit of a control loss there as he's coming up into turn 12. Great exit, though. Good momentum swing in here. He's using a lot of battery now. Now, this portion of the track is, I mean, obviously the longest and most important, if you were to ask me. I mean, these cars have zero downforce on them. This track is primarily maximized from this portion of the race here. A lot of these cars are going to be or excuse me, yeah, low downforce. A lot of these cars are going to have very low downforce, so they want to maximize the speed there on the Vegas Strip straight. And we're actually watching Reimer dive into the pit lane here, clearly uh, committing an error that maybe he just didn't like or was not fast enough. Actually, as he was entering the pit lane, it was a 131. He would not have beaten his time there if he had tried to gun for it. So very, very reasonable decision there from Reimer, just deciding to call it quits, get fresh tires, and hopefully try to put a new time on track. Because we're now watching Focoena here coming up to turn 8, going through turn 9 here. I feel like we're going to be seeing some collisions here, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Turn 9 is a one of those really weird places that look like you can overtake, but you definitely shouldn't, in my opinion. I've seen the most crashes I've seen in overtake attempts happen in turn 9. So we'll have to see how these guys decide to handle it here. But we have a fair amount of drivers on, or actually, we don't have that many drivers on the grid here. You guys can see the map. Two of the McLaren drivers are out right now. Two Williams, one V Carb, and one Mercedes here. This Focoena here is the only Haas car right now on track here. Coming up into turn 14, he is going to be looking for a strong outlap here. Positioning, I think, on the start of this track is crucial. The higher up you are, obviously, the better opportunity you can, first of all, pull away, but take advantage of the chaos that happens here between turn 1 through 4. I mean, this track is really intense. This first little portion, I don't know if you guys remember this year, but a lot of chaos. Lando overshot trying to defend Max Verstappen. We'll have to see if anybody here does something similar. But this first little sector here at the start of the race is going to be critical for a lot of these guys. This corner as well, turn 5 here, also deceivingly small. I see a lot of crashes happen here as well. We'll have to see if anything occurs while we're watching the start of the race. I can definitely see some wing damage. I'll go so far and say I predict a safety car. I think we're going to be seeing a safety car here at the start of the race, just because of how much debris may be on track. Give me a quick second, guys. I do apologize. Some technical issues here on my end. We are watching Focoena here at the Las Vegas Strip here. Caesar's Palace is right there. Pretty place. I like Caesar's Palace. All right, guys. I do apologize for that little silence section there. I had to deal with something on my end here. I do apologize for that. But Focoena starting his lap here, coming up on turn 4 now. Let's see how close he gets to the wall. We saw Reimer get real close to the wall. Not terribly close there from Focoena, but a very deep dive into turn 1, 2, and 3. I heard a lot of locking up there as he's coming up on turn 5 now. Money retiring from the session. Money does tend to do that. That is not a DNF, just to be clear, ladies and gentlemen. That is a willingful retirement from Money there. He's a I guess he just does that. I guess I don't really know what else to call it. As we're watching Focoena here, take the left turn on turn 9 here, coming up to turn 10 and 11. Unfortunately, this track, I think, despite how much I like it, there's not a lot to mention. I think during qualifying, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward track. I think because it's so big compared to Monza, especially, and Monza kind of has a little more layout oomph to it, if you were to ask me. It makes it a little difficult. I mean, excluding the straight on Monza, literally the rest of Monza is has a fair amount of on-track action, or not action, but I guess diversity to make it pretty entertaining to watch here. I think one gripe I'm having actually as a commentator right now with Las Vegas is the fact that there's a lot of straights here, or like a lot of like very minimal car movement. Focoena jumps up to 7th position here. Good drive there by Focoena. That is one of the final times we're going to be watching here as I jump over to NASCAR Freak here in the Alpine. We still have a few of our top drivers, actually. I do want to jump up here and look at Prosk, who's definitely gunning to compete against Rebel. We now have 4 drivers who have broken the minute 31 marker here. All of 2 of these gentlemen have yet to set a time. So we'll have to see if anybody's able to respond here. Prosk going over turn 15, cross 16, hitting the rear straight here now. Completely out of battery. Prosk has used all of his battery coming up on turn 17 and crosses the line as a best time here, or no, not a best time. I don't believe Prosk improved his time, and we actually do see MSA Samad improve their time up to second place, I believe, moving Prosk down into third. Very unfortunate. Great drive from the top 4 drivers here. MSA Samad, Rebel, and Mudev here, all breaking the minute 31. We'll have to see how these guys handle each other at the start of the race. It's going to be a little hectic here. But MSA Samad, congratulations here on the pole position. Rebel, Prosk, Mudev, Mac, TRD Phoenix, Carrot, Focoena, NASCAR, SB Jabor. Actually, excuse me. Pretty much the entire grid is within at least a few seconds of each other here. But, oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't seen this before. Few tires here. It looks like nobody's anticipating to use any softs. Most of the drivers here used 3 soft tire compounds. Uh, Las Vegas is actually a pretty heavy tire wear track, to be quite honest with you guys. You wouldn't think so with how straight it is, but the fact that there's no downforce on the car, you have to rely a lot on the. You have to rely a lot on the. Excuse me, I just had food delivered to me. That's awesome. I'm not gonna be eating, unfortunately. I got to race to commentate, but that's cool. Uh, but you wouldn't think so, but due to the lack of downforce, you rely a lot on the mechanical grip here. And while I'm yapping, allow me to fulfill my promise here, guys, and show you guys the current constructor standings. We have Mercedes currently leading it at 209, followed by VCarb, Ferrari, and Alpine. Mercedes is pretty dominant here right now in the points, if you were to ask me. We have a little bit of a fight between Williams and Red Bull here for 5th and 6th place at the moment. Then followed by Haas, McLaren, and Aston Martin, the best of the rest here. Haas and McLaren are fighting right now for 7th pretty intensely. Focoena right now in the Haas is going to be at a major disadvantage, being the only Haas driver fighting 2 McLaren drivers. Focoena is going to be hoping for some big points here today. Obviously, the Williams team, Prosk, and Red Bull driver Mac here, I believe they're the only 2 drivers of their respective teams at the moment are going to be gunning for it. Mac, who did finish 5th place here in the qualifying, with Prosk only being 2 positions above him in 3rd. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens here. Alpine, unfortunately, did lose one of their drivers, so it is just Rebel. He is going to be trying to finish as high as he can to just try to keep Alpine in the constructors' fight as best as he can. Ferrari now has 2 drivers. Both of them are pretty fast, competent drivers. We have had Reimer be both a race winner and a podium winner here already in season 13. We'll have to see if anything like that occurs again. And then obviously VCarb with MSA Samad and JM624. Both of those drivers, especially MSA Samad, are very, very strong drivers. JM624 has scored a pretty consistent amount of points in these last few races. And then obviously MSA Samad is one of the few drivers here who is, I think he's actually the driver with the most first place podiums here at the moment this year, which I'll get into in the drivers' standings momentarily. And then obviously, excuse me, uh, we got a chat here. First time intrinsic swing K1 Ult 87. I think that might be a spam here. I'm not too sure. But as I was saying, Mercedes obviously leading it now. Mudev has been one of the most consistent drivers of the season. I believe he's pretty much always ended in the top 4 or 5. Incredible consistency from Mudev, and then TRD Phoenix, who's the secondary driver as well, very consistently in the points, scoring. I believe as low as seventh. I think he's finished as low as seventh or eighth place. Maybe one bad race that I'm not remembering, but very strong drivers here at the top of the constructors. Moving on to the driver standings, I do apologize. I'm gonna have to scroll through this. I wasn't able to modify this for some reason, but we're looking at the constructor or the drivers championship here now. Obviously, as I mentioned, MSA Samad leading the drivers championship by 2 points right now. Mudav and him are fighting tooth and nail for the number one spot here at the moment. Uh, there's a lot of race to go though for the rest of the season here, so we'll have to see how these two drivers do. Honestly, missing one race for either of these two guys could pretty much cost them the championship. So we'll have to see the consistency from these guys. They're one of the more active drivers in PSF1. Obviously, the better drivers in PSF1 currently with their standings for season 13. So we'll have to see what occurs here today in Vegas. Following that, Rebel in third place in the Alpine, 58. Prosk very closely behind Rebel, hunting Rebel right now for that position. These two have had some great fights so far. Mac, who's a Red Bull driver here, fifth place, who just got overtaken by Prosk, unfortunately, I believe, is going to be gunning to get that position back. Following that, Reimer, who, as I previously mentioned, has been a winner here. And then William and Goatley, both are reserve drivers who are not joining us here today, but they've been very consistent and very strong. Goatley has only raced 3 times this season and has been on the podium every single one of those times, which is why he's so high up here on the driver standings. Now, I do apologize to a lot of these other drivers. I would love to go through the rest of you guys here right now, but we are currently on our formation lap, and I do want to get as much on-track action as possible here. So moving back here to the game cap here, I will be getting the track map. If you guys do like the track map, do tell me and I'll keep it up, but I think it takes up a little too much space right now, especially at the start of the race here. But I will do position changes here for right now. Currently leading us in pole position in the V-Carb, MSA Samad, followed by Rebel in the Alpine, Prosk in the Williams, Mudev in the Mercedes, Mac in the Red Bull, TRD Phoenix, our second Mercedes driver here today, followed by Carrot G, who is joining us. Excuse me, I didn't realize Carrot G had joined us here. He is the second Williams driver here, so unfortunately Mac is dealing with a 1v2, same as Foco Enna. And on the note of Foco Enna and the Haas, 8th place right behind Carrot G. NASCAR Freak, DI9. Congratulations to NASCAR Freak here in the Alpine. He just got promoted from D2, I believe, up to D1, so I'm very excited to see him race here. I'm sure he's feeling the pressure himself, so everybody send good energy his way. We'll have to see his performance. He is filling very big shoes. Seven, who used to be the second driver for Alpine, or one of the drivers for Alpine, unfortunately had to leave for the remainder of the season. So we're going to be having some watchful eyes here on NASCAR Freak. Following that is SB Jabor. Welcome back, SB Jabor, to your first race once again, season 13 in the Ferrari. Gunner AD77 in the McLaren, followed by Reimer in the Ferrari, and then Money in the McLaren, and then GDB and JM, who I can't go to right now in Aston Martin and V-Car, but all of our drivers are finished with their formation lap. Ladies and gentlemen, the green flag is waving in the back right now. Hold on to your seats right as the drivers rev up their engines. Hold on to your seats. And away we go here. Very strong start, it looks like, from Rebel here as they come up onto turn one. Rebel actually takes the lead just off the start alone, swinging to the inside here. I'm going to say Samad doesn't seem to be able to fight back here for it. Let's jump back a little bit, see if we see any on-track action in the back. Not seeing anything as we actually see NASCAR Freak move up position past the Haas car. The Haas car swinging extremely wide right now. A lot of movement here. GDB moving up 3 whole positions here, actually. Let's see if any of the top drivers are fighting, and I don't see anything right away as we actually see TRD Phoenix go for a little bit of a deep dive into the Williams. Isn't able to get a move off, and NASCAR Freak is almost able to get the position back from that attempt. Reimer here sniffing the back of the Alpine. Haas is looking to the inside as we actually see GDB in the Aston Martin dive to the inside of the Haas, passing him, pushing him off track. We'll have to see if that is contested later into the race. An incredible move there by GDB in the Aston Martin, passing the Haas in, I believe that was turn 7. Very, very incredible maneuver there. Very ballsy, if you were to ask me. As we're now watching our drivers here fight. A little bit of a showdown here between Gunner, JM here. JM is fighting 2 of the McLarens who will be trying to assist each other as much as possible. We actually see SB Jabor, who got a bad exit out of turn 12 here, racing now neck and neck against us against Gunner. But I will be jumping up to see if anything else is occurring at the front here, and I'm not seeing anything. Allow me to jump back as we're actually seeing Reimer now. NASCAR Freak. NASCAR Freak backs out of turn 14. A very reasonable decision, if you ask me. And we actually see JM go to the inside of turn 14 on Gunner and gets the maneuver done. Fantastic maneuver there by JM. No contact there from what I can tell. And very, very clean. Very, very clean. Reimer here currently racing side by side. TRD Phoenix and the Mercedes coming up to turn 1. Big braking point here. We're seeing these drivers side by side. Ooh. As we actually see TRD Phoenix back off here from the fight, almost hitting the wall on turn 3. Very unfortunate moment there. More fighting here in the back. We're actually watching 2 drivers here racing neck and neck. NASCAR versus TRD Phoenix here. TRD Phoenix did get taken advantage of during that fight and loses 2 positions to Reimer and NASCAR. Super unfortunate as we see a pretty big lockup there from the Alpine. Doesn't lose a position. TRD Phoenix is going to be itching for that pass back. Super unfortunate moment there. Kind of got squeezed. I wouldn't say he got squeezed into the wall at all, but it was a very tight position there for TRD Phoenix to try to handle to, and I respect him from backing out. You know, sometimes just finishing the race is the most important thing you can do. I know GDB is going to be itching for a pass, and we actually see him do a lunge for the inside of turn 12, compromising his exit. We'll have to see if Focoena takes advantage of the situation now. Very, very interesting maneuver there from the Aston Martin. Turn 12 is definitely not an overtaking turn in any capacity, so I'm curious as to why he went for it. As we now see Focoena do a by-the-book pass here on the Vegas Strip here. He is going to be pulling away pretty intensely, I believe, and GDB actually outbreaks Focoena. A great outbreaking maneuver there, and manages to take back and hold on to his 10th position here. I will be jumping here to the front of our drivers. We're now watching Mudev within 0.3 seconds of Prost. These drivers are some of the more experienced drivers on the grid, so I'd be surprised if we see any excessively aggressive maneuvers here from these guys. I will be jumping back to the action we were seeing here. This back grid here as we actually see a major moment there from SP Jabor as he actually hits the wall and collides with his competitors. I don't see any immediate damage on anybody. I have zero doubt in my mind SP Jabor, though, has lost some wing. Yes, we actually, for a fraction of a second there, SP Jabor does not have his left front end plate there. Super unfortunate. Shouldn't be too big of a moment there, though. I mean, this, as I had mentioned, this track doesn't really rely on the downforce of these cars really to be effective. So it shouldn't be a major moment. It might be a major mental moment, though, for SP Jabor. The mental game here in F1 is massive. Honestly, more important, I think, than the driving aspect. Obviously, the driving aspect is important. But if you can't handle the pressure, you're not going to output. You need to be able to handle tough situations and just be able to put your foot on the gas as much as possible and just move up and race no matter what occurs to you here. As we're watching a lot of these guys here on the straight, a lot of DRS. TRD Phoenix here is leading a DRS train. I'm sure he's not happy with the position he's in right now. And Reimer looking at the back right now of this Williams. There is no DRS in this section here. Reimer is not close enough to make a move into turn 1 here, unfortunately, as we actually see a lot of these drivers here very, very close to each other. Mac, Prosk, and Mudev are all fighting for position. I actually noticed, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, Mudev has moved up into 3rd position. I missed the pass here. Super unfortunate there for Prost to miss out on that. As we're now watching Mac go for the inside of turn 5, backs out of it, sold Prosk a dummy, and swings himself wide out, and a phenomenal move on Prosk there. he sold Prosk a dummy, which compromised Prosk's entrance into turn 5 and gave him the pass here. Mac now moves up into 4th position there. A little unfortunate there for Prosk. Great maneuver there from Mac. Good mental games there. He put his car in the middle, made it look like he was going to go for a deep aggressive dive into turn 5, and instead just slowed the car down, let Prosk overshoot it, and then just went right on past. We're watching Reimer here, also looking at the back of the Williams. Actually, was that a rear end? That was not a rear end, excuse me. Reimer here, great exit out of turn 12, though. Much better exit here than Carrot G, obviously. Using a lot of battery here right now as he does a pretty by-the-book pass once again here on the Las Vegas straight. No major trouble here. And Reimer, ladies and gentlemen, has gained now 6 positions, the most positions gained here so far at the start of the race here on lap 4. Carrot G does not go for a move here on turn 14, and we actually see a little bit of a deep dive there from TRD Phoenix on turn 15. Actually, I got a little nervous there, and we're actually watching our top drivers here fighting right now at the moment. I do apologize that I don't show these guys. I realize there are podium contenders at the moment, but these last few races, these guys have just been so they're such strategically minded drivers that they don't dive at every opportunity they see, which is something a lot of people just can't do. You know, they see an opening and they want to take it. These guys are super, super strategic like that. And we actually see both of these drivers lock up as Rebel goes very deep into turn 5 and kind of loses out on being able to keep close to MSA Samad. Mudev takes advantage though and closes the gap here to about 0.6. I know it says 0.7. It's 0.5 actually. 0.5 now. Carl the Chase here as Carrot G, excuse me, Carl the Chase. 10-second penalty here from Carrot G as there's probably a little bit of contact here. Carrot G most likely cut the corner. It did say corner cutting. It occurred here during a fight with Reimer into turn 7. I have zero doubt in my mind. Super unfortunate moment there from Carrot G. He is able to contest this with the stewards and have the 10-second penalty removed if he thinks that it's an unfair penalty, especially if it was an avoiding action situation. So not a big worry here, hopefully, for Carrot G. TRD Phoenix, though, is sniffing the back of this Williams here and is not actually close enough. The Williams is now pulling away using a lot of battery here. TRD Phoenix is going to have to shake up for a move on the next lap. But as I was saying with these guys, these top drivers here are very methodical. As we saw with Mac and Prosk, for example, they play mind games. They wait for you to mess up. They won't just dive at every opportunity they see. So I admittedly have gotten a little used to not looking at these guys just because they don't normally provide so much action within the first few laps. But obviously, they're proving me wrong today here as Mac is charging up through the field, looking at the back of Mudev here right now, and a little bit of a fight between MSA Samad and Rebel, obviously, earlier in the race. I don't believe we're going to be watching anything there right now. Foco Enna, though, here, kind of in the middle of this train right now. I mentioned it earlier. TRD Phoenix, or no, it's no longer TRD Phoenix. Reimer is currently the train conductor right now for the Las Vegas GP. A lot of these cars are going to be relying on battery. Let's throw out some telemetry data, actually, just so we can see what the battery is on everybody here. This is going to be critical, especially on the straight. Using your battery to try to overtake somebody is going to be the move here. But not seeing any near pass attempts here at the moment. I have zero doubt we're probably going to see something on the straight. Our top 5 here are pretty comfortable where they are, I believe. So we'll jump back down here, and we're now on the straight here as we're watching TRD Phoenix get his rear sniffed very, very intensely by the Alpine. He's himself is sniffing the rear of this Williams very, very intensely as well. And Carrot G does not actually have DRS. Carrot G did not get DRS here from Reimer. Is using a lot of battery, though. I have zero doubt in my mind. He used a lot of battery. A little bit of a loss of control there. I'm trying to move the camera here to try to capture as many of these drivers as I can. A little bit of a waft tap there from Carrot G, I believe, or Reimer, one of those two. But these guys are all waiting for somebody to mess up here. And Carrot G is starting to become the new train conductor here. That's not a position he's going to want to be in, as Reimer seems to start confidently pulling away a little bit here. The rest of these guys are very close. As Carrot G actually loses the rears, offers opening here for TRD Phoenix, and TRD Phoenix will take the opening and loses it, actually. Excuse me. The depth perception there kind of failed me a little bit. It looked like he actually got it, but Carrot G managed to hold the position despite the mess up here, and a little bit of a rear end touch there from the Alpine. I'm going to have to jump onto the cameras here. Incredible control here from all of these drivers. I mean, this is phenomenal. These guys are obviously demonstrating an unreal amount of control. I'm thinking I'm looking at an AI race right now, the NPCs, but these guys are real. This is an unreal amount of control right now. The train right now is beautiful. And as I'm saying that, let me jump up to the front. We actually see Rebel spin out here on turn 12. As I jumped up to join these guys, we see Rebel spin out coming out of turn 12 and it is now going to be losing a major amount of positions here as he's barely getting up to speed. All of these guys are not only going to have DRS, but they're going to have the speed advantage on him. Super big moment there as Mudav and Mac now move up a position here. Prosk loses out a few tenths of a second because of avoiding action, I assume, as Rebel lost control of the car. Major, major moment there from Rebel. Little bit of a lockup. We actually see the other Alpine lose the rear of the car now. Huge moments happening with the Alpine team right now. I assume they must be sharing the same setup here. Obviously, both have lost rear control here as we now see NASCAR drop down to 12th position. Rebel dives into the pit lanes here. Probably not comfortable with how his tires are holding up. And on that note, on tires, I've been so focused on the position changes here. Let's see what the tires here. It seems like everybody has mediums. Very few people here have hards. I assume that Rebel most likely had mediums as well. Sitting behind people during dirty air though is really tough sometimes. It can really ruin your tires, and I assume that's unfortunately what must have happened there with Rebel and what happened with NASCAR, the Alpine team. Super unfortunate so far with what's occurred to them. All right, guys. Well, Mac is still eyeing the back of Mudev here, taking advantage so far of the medium tires, which still seem to be holding up pretty well. A little bit of a left front lockup there, bit of a bad entrance into turn 12. Prosk maybe taking advantage of this as Mac actually falls 2 seconds behind now of Mudev and is now going to let himself is opening himself up for Prosk here possibly. A lot of battery uses. He's obviously trying to stay in front of Prosk here. Prosk also, though, is using a lot of battery. I really doubt we're going to be seeing any passing here on turn 14. A little bit too far to make any kind of dive attempt there as we see him very casually sit behind the Red Bull here. A little bit of a bad... Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we may have a virtual safety car. We do have a virtual safety car. And Money, ladies and gentlemen, has spun out, I believe. I can't tell what part of the track he's on. There we go. He's spun out here on the, not the Vegas Strip. I can't tell where Money spun out on here. Money spun out on the rear straight coming out of turns 14, 15, and 16. Super unfortunate moment there as we actually get a 10-second penalty for a collision under safety car. GDB has collided with somebody under safety car conditions. Super unfortunate for Money, though, there. Losing out, and it's a full safety car. It is no longer a virtual safety car. It is a full safety car. As we noticed here, though, a lot of pits here. This is a free pit stop here right now for all of these guys. I'm a little surprised Focoena hasn't pitted. He may be having a bit of a long game strategy here at the moment. Las Vegas is a 2 pit stop track, not because it's mandatory, but just because of how intense this tire wear can be with the mechanical grip requirements you need to have. We'll have to see if this and JM624 as well has decided not to pit. The rest of the grid has pitted though. We'll have to see if this does any major upsets. Money did get lapped during that unfortunate moment. They're super, super unfortunate for Money. My condolences sent out to him. Las Vegas is a very, very heavy tire wear track, and being able to control the throttle is a key thing here. And honestly, sometimes it's not even sometimes it just happens, you know. You think you got it, and your tires just aren't there to meet up with you. But Money is now 2 minutes behind from the rest of the grid here, essentially. MSA Samad is holding on to our lead here. Currently, V Carbon first, followed by Haas, Focoena driver, JM64 in the V car, Mudev in the Mercedes, 4th place, Mac in 5th place, Prosk in the Williams, 6th place, Reimer, who prior to the virtual safety car was actually gaining on the top 4 pack we were watching fight earlier. Top 4 excluding Focoena and JM. I'm talking about Samad, Mudev, Prosk, and Rebel before Rebel spun out. So Reimer was gaining on these guys. We'll have to see if anything happens. And Focoena and JM are now deciding the pit. They're going to be at the between 11th and 12th now. These two, very unfortunate that they decided not to pit when they had the opportunity. little bit of a tough decision there, admittedly. They're going to be losing out on a lot of positions when they probably could have saved had they just pitted with the rest of the crew. JM, I could maybe understand not pitting. He does have a teammate, but the Haas car is the only Haas car on the grid. Could have had the opportunity to possibly hold some of the higher positions here. Excuse me, guys. I need to drink some water here while we're waiting. We'll have to see how Prosk responds here to Mac, though. Mac, going back to Carl the Chast, his comment, Mac sold him cold, big highlight. I do agree. That was a huge highlight. A little bit of a mind game there from Mac. Going back to that, I didn't get to talk about it too much just because so much action has happened here on track since, admittedly. But during that situation, if you guys remember, Mac was sitting in the middle of the lane but broke really early, obviously. Now, I don't know if Mac, well, it didn't look like Mac backed out either because he didn't get back on the racing line. I am inclined to believe that Mac sold him a dummy, which made Prosk think he had to give him room still, which ended up making him take a really wide line, and that just gave Mac the opportunity to swing through. Mac seemed to be very controlled throughout that whole fiasco, though, so that's why I am inclined to believe that that was an on-purpose maneuver. Big maneuver there from Mac. Prosk is going to have to respond here as these guys are now moving around, warming their tires up here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of debris on track apparently. We've been here for I think 2 or 3 laps and no indication that it's going to be ending here. But everybody's bunched up again now. We're going to have to see what occurs here. If you guys don't mind, I am going to take a bite of this food though. It's been looking at me since it got delivered to me and I'm so hungry right now. Mm, mm. Don't you guys love your parents, bro? Oh my god. I miss when they cook for me. I'm gonna come back and live with them. Oh, excuse me about that, guys. As we're waiting here to the 3 viewers, welcome to the stream. Do drop a chat if it is your first time. If it's not your first time, I would love to talk to you right now during the wait here. There's apparently an ungodly amount of debris on this track right now. This is going to be our 3rd or 4th lap, I believe, under safety car. There was actually the virtual safety car too for like a half a lap before the full safety car came out. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens here. Focoena actually dropped more positions than JM. I'm curious if Focoena actually had wing damage that he decided to fix because those 2 guys should have come out at the same time there. So Focoena did seem to have wing damage. He did decide to fix it here. On the note of wing damage here, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump over to our Ferrari driver who had previously received wing damage as well. I believe excuse me, guys. I believe Reimer had enough time to change his wing. Yes, yes. Reimer, the top 5 was ahead enough of the rest of the grid that Reimer was able to pit and get a new wing there. So very lucky moment there for Reimer. I'm sure that safety car was honestly a blessing in disguise, especially with the way Reimer and the Ferrari here has been moving through the field, man. I mean, let's look at the position changes here overall, guys. I mean, this guy is up 7 positions here. Excuse me, sorry guys. I actually have it's not a first time chatter. Dantata Fanbass, welcome here. Give me a quick second, guys. Very long comment. It is a first time chatter, excuse me. Welcome though. First of all, I hope you have been enjoying the stream here. It's been a little hectic on my end as we're actually watching a lot of these cars bunch up down there. What just happened? I think the safety car's coming in right now. Hopefully nobody collided or they're going to be getting 10-second penalties here as we're going to go back to racing conditions here soon enough. MSA Samad is going to be shooting us off here. Dan Tata Fanbass, do excuse me here as we're going to be going back to racing conditions and I do not want to miss this here and I want to make sure you guys get the best viewing opportunity possible. MSA Samad now hitting turn 17, deciding to press the gas, setting us off here. Mac moving to the inside, having to defend here. And we actually see Mac and Prosk and Reimer, who has now gotten in the mist. Prosk has now lost out to Reimer as well, going into turn 3 and 2. Super unfortunate moment there as we actually see TRD Phoenix also quite close to the back of these guys here. Reimer moving up very close to the back of this Red Bull. He is going to be itching for a turn 5 pass here. Too far to go for it. very deep into turn 5. Does not get a pass here. Could be giving Prosk an opportunity, admittedly. A little bit of a ballsy maneuver as we actually see Reimer try to go for the inside of turn 6, going through 7. Not close enough to do anything here. Coming up into turn 9. Excuse me, I confused the turns there, guys. Super huge moment there. Prosk lost out on yet another position there at the start. I didn't like that camera angle though, guys. I'm super sorry about that. The camera angle kind of sold. Uh, it put us at level with the cars. I want to look at the top of the cars. I want to be able to see everybody. And we actually see a spin out in the back there. One of the Williams drivers, Carrot G, spun out, hitting into turn 12. I believe he got spun out by somebody, though. That did not seem like a natural spin out there at the moment. Super unfortunate as we're now watching Rebel move his way up past Mac as well. I was about to say that Rebel is moving his way up, but Reimer, as I was saying that, passes Mac here. Going into turn 14, Mac is not able to get a counter maneuver off here. Reimer is now in podium contention after starting nearly at the bottom of the grid. This has been a phenomenal drive from Reimer, using almost all of his battery, though. It's going to leave him a little exposed here to Mac and Prost. Both of these guys are very good drivers, very strategic drivers. They're going to know what to do as Prost goes for the inside on turn 1. A little bit of a deep dive there. Mac also overshot his braking point there and loses a position to TRD Phoenix. Prosk moves up into 4th position here, and Rebel has also now gotten past Mac. Mac seemingly overshooting his braking point there into turn 1. I guess he anticipated maybe Prosk doing an exceptionally deep dive and instead just overshot it himself. Super unfortunate moment there for Mac. We've seen a lot of great driving from him today. We're going to have to see if he's able to bring any energy back here. Rebel, though, after losing out on so many positions here at the start, in turn 12, is now back at it again here at the in top 6 now, and I have zero doubt in my mind he's going to be able to get past the Mercedes up here ahead and move up as we actually see NASCAR Freak and Foco Enna here fighting a little bit. Foco Enna missing out and losing a position here. There's a lot of fighting here going on right now, guys. I do apologize. I'm not able to get all of it. I do apologize to the drivers who hopefully look at this in the future. Uh, who can hopefully look at this in the future then. We actually have a fight here in the front, though, as Mudev gets a pass on MSA Samad, by the book pass using DRS, I assume, here, as they're coming up to turn 14 now. Mudev currently leading the race now, as Reimer also now passes TRD Phoenix into turn 14. TRD Phoenix going around the outside. Prosk, I assume, maybe try to get an inside pass on turn 14. TRD Phoenix holds the position. Phenomenal defensive maneuver there from TRD Phoenix. And we actually see Rebel go up the inside of Prosk on the rear straight here, coming up to turn 17. Prosk does not have any battery to defend with, and Rebel took phenomenal opportunity. A very ballsy pass there from Rebel, coming up on the inside next to the wall, nonetheless. If Prosk had wiggled his wheel in any capacity, that could have been a major collision moment there. But no, Rebel moves up into 5th position now. And Prosk and Mac are back at it again in the back here as we actually see a little bit of a combat here. JM Soul attempted to go for an inside, decided to back out of it, though. It seems like Rebel here sniffing the back of TRD Phoenix. TRD Phoenix, I believe this is the highest he's been in any of his races so far. I know he's excited. He's going to want to hold on to this, and we're going to have to see if he's able to defend against a bunch of these phenomenal drivers. We can see the batteries here. Rebel very clearly seems to have the most battery out of everybody here. We're going to have to see how he utilizes it coming up to turn 12, though. A little bit of curb there. All of the drivers here are using battery. Everybody here wants to get a by-the-book pass here. Just a DRS-assisted pass. No trouble, no worries. It doesn't look like anybody's close enough for that to happen, though. We're going to have to see if Rebel decides to do something here up on turn 14. He's quite close. TRD Phoenix kind of defending the inside, and Rebel moves up side by side into turn 14. Major moment there. I believe we may have lost some wings there. No wings. They must have. And NASCAR Freak is out of the race, ladies and gentlemen. NASCAR Freak is out of the race. I can't jump to him, unfortunately. Super unfortunate. Mudev dives into the pit lane. Reimer dives into the pit lane. Reimer gets a 10-second penalty for diving into the pit lane. He won't be able to serve that right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I assume it's a safety car, full safety car. NASCAR Freak crashed out of the race. Super unfortunate there. I assume NASCAR Freak crashed out in Sector 3 between turn 14 to 16. Would have to be my guess here. Super unfortunate moment for the Alpine driver here. It is his first race as a full-time driver. I'm sure he's not feeling too well. He did get a podium, though, in the D2 division So big congrats to NASCAR still. Racing up in the division higher is always a difficult thing to do, and it takes a lot of courage to be able to do something like that, man. So again, big ups to you. I know you crushed it in D2. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch it, and you gave a phenomenal amount of I guess racecraft here. Honestly, I enjoyed watching you the time I did. So thank you very much here. But jumping back here, ladies and gentlemen, very unfortunate DNF here for the Alpine team. It's not been their race, admittedly. Both of these drivers have had pretty big spinouts here. Rebel has managed to kind of claw his way back up, though. Let's see how the excuse me. That's not. Nope. I'm being dumb, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see how many pit stops we have, though, so far. MSA Samad in the lead has decided not to pit. Focoena does have 2 pit stops already, maybe on fresher tires. So let's look at the tires here super quickly. MSA Samad is barely on 6 lap old hards. Focoena on 4 lap old hards, and JM is only on 5 lap old hards. These guys waited a additional lap before deciding to pit in the previous safety car, and I believe that's what's leading to their decision of staying out right now. So huge props to these guys. Actually, this kind of worked out for them. Deciding not to pit right away with the rest of the group. They're now in second and third position, and I can see them staying here for a little bit of time. We'll have to see how long the track takes to get cleaned up, though. On that note, let me jump back here to our wonderful viewers here. Dantana Fanbass. It's not good potential. I don't know if that's a. I don't know if that's fake or not. If it's not fake, Dantana, thank you very much. If it is, do enjoy the stream still. I will have to. I'll have to investigate that a little bit myself. But very very cool here race so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed Vegas as much as I have. I love this track, man. It gives so much action. I will be taking another bite of my food though. I'm salivating really hard right now. Dantana, if you're a real person, talk with me a little bit. But I've had a phenomenal race here. I hope you guys have had too. We're kind of coming up here on the end. I kind of don't want this to end. I don't know about you guys. I'm not too sure what's going to happen here anymore. I mean, with the remaining laps left, I think Focoena and JM can hold out and not pit. It's going to be tough. It's going to be pretty brutal, but I think they can do it. We're going to have to see how the soft tires here, though, from TRD Phoenix and SB Jabor go. SP Jabor. Work out for them. Those tires are going to get worn out here based off the first safety car, and it's going in this lap. I was about to say it took forever the first time. Obviously, it decides to not listen to me the second time here. We're going to have to see how this starts here. MSA Samad, who is going to be starting us off here. He's most likely going to do the same thing that just occurred previously. And he sets off here. Ladies and gentlemen, MSA Samad has started the race off again as we're watching these drivers hit turn 17. Looking at Focoena right now specifically, we're going to have to see if Reimer goes for a deep dive here. Does not decide to go for a deep dive on Mudev. Rebel and Prosk fighting him back a little bit. I saw Prosk itch for an inside pass there. Did not decide to go for it. I'm not seeing anything else here. No passing at the moment. No passing. Nobody decided to go for a pass attempt from what I could tell. Let's jump back here to the position changes just to make sure I don't miss anything. Reimer looks for the inside a little bit. Mudev gives him a bit of a defensive maneuver there, blocking off the middle a little bit. Reimer does back out. Rebel looking at the back of this Ferrari right now at the moment. I've zeroed out in my mind. Rebel's going to be able to get a pass off here soon. Prosk almost rear-ending the Alpine there. A little bit of a deep dive into turn 6. Manages to keep it on track. No contact here, thankfully. Reimer does have a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, though, guys. So Reimer is probably not happy with that second safety car that occurred. We're coming up into turn 12 now, guys. And I think we saw a collision there, maybe? No. I could have sworn I thought I just saw somebody go into the wall. Mudev, I did see somebody go in the wall. Mudev in the Mercedes, I think lost control in turn 12 and went in the wall, jumping down to 13th position. Super unfortunate moment there. I don't think I heard any contact or saw any contact there, but a super major moment as we now see Reimer go for a dive inside of JM's inside, I guess, and move up into third position here. Incredible moment there as we're now watching Rebel here also pass JM. Rebel is loving this rear portion of the track. Rebel has performed 2 phenomenal overtakes here, and Mudev gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. This is going to be a major upset, ladies and gentlemen, in the championship. MSA Samad currently in first with little competition here at the moment, admittedly. And Mudev gets another penalty. Mudev has 13 seconds and Mudev has retired from the session. Mudev has decided to retire from the session. Super unfortunate there for our number 2 driver contender here. Super unfortunate. Sometimes it just happens like that. I really hope for Mudev's sake that obviously was not caused by somebody else, which I mean still isn't good if you did it yourself, I guess. But it's better than having somebody else ruin your race for you. Big love sent out to Mudev. It's always phenomenal watching this guy. And again, that kind of goes back to what I mentioned, guys. It just takes one moment for everything to change. And we actually see JM lose the rear there as he moves off to the left side of the wall here. Sorry, I'm stuttering over myself here. A lot of actions happening right now. It's kind of hard to keep up a little bit as we have a train here between Reimer, Focoena, and Prosk. It looks like both of these guys are going to be able to get a move off here. And Rebel does move up past Focoena. It was not Prosk, excuse me. Prosk is back here in a different train. A little unfortunate there. Focoena has lost 2 positions since the restart here. Let's hope he doesn't lose any more. TRD Phoenix, though, is holding up a lot of these drivers here at the moment. We do have Mac and Prosk, though, back at it again here, guys. I hope you guys are as excited as I am because these guys are going to be duking it out hard. Trying to see if I see any other combat here, but I'm not noticing anything. I try not to jump around too much camera-wise, guys. I know it's a little annoying. Kind of annoys me too, but there's just so much happening here right now. It's kind of hard to keep up. Tier D Phoenix though is kind of creating a gap here at the moment, which is gonna benefit Focoena a lot. It's gonna ruin the tires of everybody behind Tier D Phoenix, who is on soft tires, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. Let me throw this back up though. Everybody below him except Mac is well, I guess actually not everybody, I guess, but a lot of mediums is what I'm getting at, and then the one soft from SP Jabor here. And we actually have another virtual safety car here. What happened? Money has hit the wall and left debris on the track. Super unfortunate there. A lot of safety cars here at the moment. Trying to see if it's still, yes, ladies and gentlemen, still a virtual safety car. Lot of lot of events happening this race here so far. I'm sure these guys here aren't happy. I know Focoena isn't happy. He had almost a 2-second gap between him and the Mercedes. That's now going to close up once again because of the virtual safety car, and that's just going to give Prosk and Mac the opportunity to get past both of these guys here. And Tier D Phoenix is on soft tires here. He doesn't want to be wasting their longevity, I guess. Longevity. Excuse me. He doesn't want to be wasting their longevity here in a virtual safety car train. We actually have JM Pit, though. An interesting pit choice here, considering there's only 5 laps left. 10-lap old tires here on this track, I'm sure, are not fun to race in, but that is going to be costing him a lot of positions here. So we're going to have to see what happens with JM's decision. And Money, ladies and gentlemen, has decided to retire from the race here. Big love sent out to Money. Super unfortunate here. Great driving from him. We saw very good qualifying attempts as well. And TRD Phoenix gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VC. This is a huge moment, guys. Focoena, I said that like I said that like a kid's YouTuber. Guys, this is a huge moment. That was a big moment though. Tier D Phoenix is gonna have to serve that before the end of the race. I think it's actually within a 3-lap window. I might be thinking of GT3, so do correct me if I'm wrong. He's gonna have to serve that though. That's going to give Focoena. Are we back to racing? We are back to racing conditions. That's something Fukuena is not going to be happy about here, though, as Reimer gets past MSA Samad on the inside. Wonderful pass there. We didn't get to see the full thing, but nonetheless, it was very pretty to jump to there. As we actually see Rebel also go to the inside of MSA Samad on turn 14. MSA Samad with 11 lap old tires is just not able to keep up with these guys right now. Prosk does get the maneuver off. Mac also gets the maneuver off coming out of turn 15. Wonderful pass, double pass here from both of these guys, as I'm sure TRD Phoenix, yes, is attempting to dive into the pit lane now. I really doubt Prosk is going to be able to catch up to these guys now. They do have 10 and 11 lap old tires, so it could be possible, but it would have to involve some pretty major moments. As we actually see SB Jabor in the back lose it on turn 2 there, slamming into the wall. Doesn't cause a safety car, no safety car. Is missing his left front end plate, though. Super unfortunate there, as he also misses out on a few positions now. Mac looking at the back of Prosk. These two have been back and forth this whole race here. It's been pretty crazy. Now, it is going to be in MSA Samad's interest to stay within 10 seconds of Reimer. I really doubt Reimer is going to be able to pull 10 seconds, 10 whole seconds away from MSA Samad. But nonetheless, it's not an ideal position to be in. He is going to be finishing second behind Rebel if the current standings remain and nothing else occurs here. We actually see Mac staying quite close to Prosk here. I thought there was going to be an overtaking attempt occurring here, but nothing happened. I clenched a little as we're now here on the Vegas Strip. Mac looking at the back of this Williams right now. A lot of battery. DRS is now active. It's going to be a very easily DRS assisted pass here. Super unfortunate there from Prosk. Isn't really able to fight back. He's actually falling behind quite a bit now as we actually see Mac now lock up going into turn 14. We'll have to see if Prosk is able to respond. They have the same oh, actually they don't have the same tires, excuse me. I was looking at two other people. Mac does have hard tires and Prosk has medium tires. So as this fight between these two guys goes on, we actually see a very deep dive there from Prosk going into turn 1, swinging through turn 2. I'm not too sure what that was, but he's managing to stay quite close to Mac here, within DRS at least, which is really what he wants to keep doing. And we have another caution flag come up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure what may have occurred. Let me jump through. Not seeing anything. Not seeing anything. TRD Phoenix is quite behind, but he did have to serve a drive-through, so I think that's the only reason that's that. Major moments here as Prosk actually was looking in the inside there. I wish I didn't skip out to see what happened there as he touches the wall. Now Prosk isn't going to want to stay behind Mac. Prosk is gonna get past as fast as possible here. These medium tires are going to wear out faster, and if he sits behind dirty air, they're only going to wear out even faster. Prosk, though, saved up a lot of battery for this. He has an ungodly amount of battery for Sector 3 here. We're going to have to see how he decides to use it, though. Mac is also deciding to use a fair amount of battery here. Mac is down to about 12%. Prosk here using battery and DRS to help with the overtake. Going for the outside here, coming up to turn 14. And it looks like Prosk will gain the position back here. Huge moment for Prosk. Very unfortunate here for Mac. Doesn't have the battery to respond really here at the moment. Great fighting between both of these drivers. I mean, these guys have been giving us so much action here today. I've had a great time watching both of these guys. Now, there are 3 laps remaining here. A little bit of a lockup from Mac as they're now coming up on Focoena now, actually. Focoena may be a deciding factor for what happens to both Prosk and Mac here. If Prosk is able to pass Focoena on the straight and is able to hand off Focoena to Mac when the curvy section happens, I guess pretty much sector 1 and 2 essentially, Mac is going to lose a lot of time trying to get past Focoena there, and that's going to let Prosk run away with it. It's very interesting. These guys are having a battery battle. You guys may have not noticed or may have noticed, but Mac has actually been saving as much battery up as possible right now. To get as much of a advantage over Prosk here on the straight. Prosk is going to have DRS though as they're coming up onto the Vegas straight, so this isn't going to be a fair fight for Mac at all, or it will be a fair fight for Mac, who was most likely looking for an unfair fight prior to Focoena. Honestly, I could totally see Prosk having waited just a little bit behind Focoena before deciding to. Actually, no, Focoena is staying ahead of these guys. What? Never mind. Focoena is very comfortably sticking ahead of these guys. Excuse me. I implied that Prosk was strategically using DRS there, but no, Focoena is actually managing to stay ahead of these guys here at the moment. Very, very good driving here from Focoena on the Haas. A little unfortunate, I'm sure, from him. He's probably not happy that he's not going to be on the podium, but this has been a great drive from Focoena. I believe it's going to be his highest finishing position of the season so far. So as long as nothing happens here and he's able to keep Prosk and Mac behind him, it's going to be something the Haas team is really going to want and need for the constructors championship here. As we can see, though, at the bottom of our grid is all the soft tire users. And Mac loses the rear. Mac loses the rear, almost rear-ending Prosk, having to take evasive action to make sure nothing happens. And the McLaren of Gunner manages to move up and get a position done. A super unfortunate moment there for the Red Bull team. Major, major moment. I don't think he was ready to brake as hard as he needed to brake there, and Mac has now lost out on a position. I believe he's going to be able to get it back possibly here. He does have hard tires to Gunner's medium tires. He will have the tire advantage here, but just super unfortunate. My heart goes out to Mac for that moment there. Good on him, though, as we actually see him hit the wall there coming up to the turn 12, too. My heart goes out to Mac, though. Big moment from him, honestly. It's better to not ruin another driver's race, and it takes a lot to recognize that. So, super unfortunate, but a big moment there. As we actually have Rebel pass Reimer here on turn 14, coming out of the straight. Kind of interesting. I haven't been watching these guys just because I admittedly assumed that they weren't going to attempt to pass Reimer at all because he had a 10-second penalty. You could just sit behind Reimer and pretty much nothing would have happened here. Focoena, though, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I may have lied. Focoena may be in contention here. Ladies and gentlemen, Focoena is in contention for a podium. If Focoena is able to stick with these guys within 10 seconds of Reimer at least for the remainder of this lap, he is going to be getting a podium. Haas's first podium ever, probably, in real life or in the game. This is a huge moment. Focoena, you got to lock in, my man. 14 lap old tires do not matter. And we actually see a pass here in the bottom from JM going across KRG here, coming up to turn 5. A by the book DRS pass here. JM with 5 lap old softs actually is able to pass 10 lap old mediums here. So it does seem like the fresher softs obviously work. I honestly thought when I saw these softs that it was kind of over. But obviously not, as we're now watching our leaders here, ladies and gentlemen, hitting turn 12. Phenomenal, phenomenal race here from all of these guys. I've been ecstatic. I've been so happy watching these dudes race here. I mean, this has been such a good race. And watching MSA Samad going down the inside of Reimer now, actually as well, risking an overtaking maneuver despite having like 16 lap old mediums. And Reimer goes for a defensive shake actually, and is not able to hold the position going into turn 15. Great pass there from MSA Samad, and great defending there from Prosk. Because we actually see Prosk and Focoena fighting here. Focoena is going to lose out on the podium as he I guess lost on Prosk in the straight here. Super unfortunate moment there. Prosk, a phenomenal maneuver on Focoena, is able to move up into the podium, and Focoena gets the podium, and Prosk had a time penalty. Focoena in the Haas gets on the podium. A phenomenal drive from all of these drivers here today. I've had a great time commentating this. This has been one of the more entertaining races. Good heavens, guys. This has been insane. And we actually have TRD Phoenix, who lost control of the car in the rear here, and TRD Phoenix decides to retire from the session. Super unfortunate. That is not going to count as a finish there for TRD Phoenix. Phenomenal, phenomenal drive, guys. I didn't realize that Prost got a time penalty. He must have. I don't remember him getting a time penalty. He must have gotten a time penalty on his overtake attempt going into turn 15, which I had mentioned that the car was too wide to get a corner cutting there, but maybe obviously that must have not been the case. So Prost did get a time penalty there at the very end of the race, which gave Focoena the win, or not the win, but the podium at least. But crazy driving here at the end of the race. I don't know about you guys. That was awesome. As we're now watching here, Rebel coming up first place on the podium. Phenomenal drive from Rebel. Huge congrats after the major spin out. I'm going to say Samad in second place, and Focoena first time on the podium as far as I'm aware. Huge congratulations sent out to the Haas team and to Focoena. That is a huge achievement. Phenomenal driving as well from Rebel, especially after the spin out that occurred on turn 12. Super unfortunate. Both of the Alpines losing the car on turn 12 was very unfortunate, but Rebel able to bring it back with the assistance of the safety cars was able to strategize his way back up to the top. MSA Samad did not decide to pit, and that did cost him first place. Reimer obviously as well had his time penalty, which also cost him. I should probably switch off the before you guys see anything, which obviously also cost him uh, any podium finishing there. So phenomenal, phenomenal race from all of these guys. I'm super happy to commentate this stuff. I mean, I really love watching these guys race. Once again, I do apologize if you've been here with me from the beginning. I've been a little scatterbrained. I do normally have certain notes and things to keep me on track, and I didn't have those today, so I was a little all over the place. But once again, my heart goes out to all the drivers. Great, great driving. Focoena with the strategy call that ended up working out. Honestly, I thought not pitting in the first safety car was a kind of a blunder, to be quite frank with you. But obviously, he decided to disprove me essentially, and it worked out for him beautifully. If you guys do apologize, I will be trying to get some people to talk with me. Give me a quick second. I do have to coordinate who I'd like to interview. Let's see, Prosk, Mac, Focoena, those were all great. Honestly, Samad had a good race. Um, who else had some cool highlights, guys? Uh, sorry, I have to coordinate some stuff on my end here. Huge, huge driving though. I had actually asked a media question to ask P. Jabor. It was what's it called? Right before the race. I missed it, so I didn't get to bring it up here. But I had asked SB Jabor how he feels about racing in season 13 here in D1, if he had practiced a lot for the Las Vegas race, and if he thinks he'll shape up pretty confidently to the rest of the drivers here. And quoting him directly, so this will be my first time in the D1 race since a P6 finish in the first season. We've had some great performances from our new FT driver Reimer and some great reserve driver performances as well from Goatley. We are looking forward to racing under the lights in Vegas and look forward to a couple good results. So SP Jabor is the team principal, so huge, huge. Uh, I mean, it was a great drive from him. Very unfortunate, obviously, with some of the occurrences, but man, that was a phenomenal race. My heart goes out to the Red Bull team. You guys did a great job. I am Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get some interviews here. Unfortunately, one of the drivers is not willing to interview, which is making me a little sad. I hope when he looks later at this, he realizes I'm really sad about it. But if you guys had any moments that you guys really enjoyed this race, do drop it in the chat. I had a great time commentating this race. There was a lot of action. I need to learn how to not stutter as much. I think so. I thank the F1 drivers here in Purple Sector F1 for doing that for me. But I do apologize. I am trying to get at least one driver here to join us, and we already have a highlight reel from somebody, which I will be throwing up on the screen. So I do apologize to Prosk ahead of time. But I wish I could do quick highlight cuts like this. Unfortunately, I can't, which is a little unfortunate. But in the future, guys, I do hope to learn how to do highlight cuts like this. But allow me to jump to my other display screen here, or not. There we go. So here's a highlight cut of the Mac overtake on Prosk here. we're watching here, Mac coming up onto the first DRS zone here, sitting behind Prosk. Prosk goes for a little bit of a defensive shake in the middle, gets back in the line. We see Mac here holding the middle pretty aggressively, and that is a very intentional maneuver there from Mac. Obviously, after looking at this again, Mac obviously knows that Prosk is going to go for kind of a defensive outside maneuver, and just kind of cruises his way through the inside pretty smoothly here. Great move there from Mac. I'm going to pause that and maneuver my screens around once again, guys. Let's sit back here on the calendar. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get anybody to interview. Oh, you're NBC. Excuse me. We do have somebody in here. Prosk, thank you for joining us. Let's move over to NACS D1 voice chat here. We're going to have to figure out how to unmute you here for the future. Prosk,
Yeah,
thank
it's I'm suppressed in there, so I can't even unmute, unfortunately.
No, that's fair. We'll try to get that fixed. But thank you very much for joining me on the booth here today. Phenomenal drive from you, man, today. I mean, you gave us so much action here. I'm sure the viewers had a great time. How did you feel out there?
Um, my like quality one lap time trial kind of pace was solid. I was pretty happy with that, but I didn't do any race practice, and it showed. I got absolutely swarmed in the first few laps because I was just not prepared to drive on the mediums or the hards. But the mediums is what I started on. So yeah, that was a pretty rough start, but whereas before I might have lost my head a little bit, I knew I could adjust to how I needed to drive and just kind of to hang in there. And I got P4. I'm hoping that I get a 3-second penalty removed because I had contact with Focoina last lap that gave me my last warning. I'm pretty sure I'll get a podium, but we'll see what happens with that. So honestly, after the way the race started, I'm pretty happy with that drive.
Fair enough. No, you had a great drive, man, honestly. Super, I mean, I guess you kept your head down, honestly, is what I'm trying to get at. There's a lot of movement throughout, like you'd mentioned. A lot of people were swarming you, and you were able to just keep your head down and finish the way you did. We'll have to see what the stewards say, obviously. But how did you feel about some of your other competitors? Did you feel like it was pretty clean racing, despite the fact that there was so much wood a wheel the most of the race?
Yeah, I had some I had like a messy move on TRD Phoenix. I was a little bit not happy with that. And the thing about this track is that like if you burn too much battery time to overtake someone, the chances are you're going to get overtaken back plus another person behind them. So you really have to be smart with your battery, and it's a very strategic thing. I was kind of learning during the race, which I was able to use. But yeah, I mean I don't know exactly what caused all the safety cars and VSCs, but for the most part, the racing around
It
me
was
was
me.
was fairly clean, as money says it was him. But yeah, I know and I didn't make any huge mistakes. I know Rebel spun. I know Mudev had something happen to him. I know Mac kind of got cut out with how early I braked, and that's what kind of left him out of the fight with me and Focoina. So yeah, just something that's not really been my strong suit before, which is just kind of staying out of trouble and being consistent. I was happy that I was able to bring that to the table.
No, great drive. I'm excited to see you in Vegas again, since this was your apparently first time doing actual on-track racing. So I had mentioned it before, not to glaze you too hard. You're one of the more strategically minded drivers, saying that apparently real-time decision making happening is really cool to hear and obviously
Yeah,
see on track, man. That was great driving from you. But I don't have any
thank
more
you.
questions. If Money, maybe you have any questions. Money may not be here. Money is in the booth with us right now, guys. But Pross, thank you very much for joining me here. Awesome watching
Well,
your
one more
race.
thing, yeah,
Yes,
like
go for it.
you were mentioning the strategic aspect. I think it was super. It wasn't great for some people in some situations, but it was interesting having those multiple safety cars to try to figure out what exactly to do. I mean, for me, it was a pretty simple decision. Hit both times. The
Mhm.
first time was really good timing because I was boxing from the mediums to the hards. Uh, and then the second time, it was interesting because the hards could have made it to the end, but I didn't know if I wanted track position. A lot of other people around me were boxing, so I decided to box. But for someone like Fokuina, who was a little bit further down the order and didn't box during the second safety car, I think the VSC also helped with that, kind of conserving the tires. But you know, it was definitely an interesting strategic race, and there was definitely a lot of ways you could have gone with that. And yeah, so it was super interesting.
I 100% agree. I guess just for your information, Foko Ina actually waited a lap to box on the first safety car, which I don't know was either hesitation or other, but it kind of led him to being able to climb the ranks like that. Rebel also was able to take a huge advantage. I believe he dropped down to between 10th to 12th position during he spun out on turn 12 right
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the
I
start of the
saw that.
straight. Um, and yeah, the safety cars kind of the two safety cars he managed to get the virtual and the real I think managed to help him also climb his way back up, obviously onto the podium. So it was a cool race to watch overall. But are you excited for Coda then?
I think it's an interesting track. The one actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do because I might be back home. Uh, but Jeddah, I quite like Jeddah. I think it's a really fun track. But yeah, Rebel made pretty quick work of me after boxing. I think I was a little bit off the race pace. I ended up pretty far behind the leaders, even with all the safety cars and VSCs. But yeah, I think Coda's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping I can race Jeddah because I quite like that track.
I'm hoping you can make Jeddah too. If you like a track, that means you're going to be top two on that track. So please try to make that one. But
Unless I bottle it like I did in China.
no, just don't leave your S up. But again, thank you very much for joining me in the booth. That was today's stream,
Appreciate it.
guys. That was race 7, season 13 here at Purple Selector F1. A phenomenal race here in the Neon City of Las Vegas. Highly encourage you guys to check out the place in real life. Don't spend your money though. It's more of like a go check out and look kind of place. Very pretty, a lot of architecture, very nice. And you guys will actually be able to visit a real life GP track, which I kind of want to do now to look at the paved road. But next week we're going to be racing in Coda. That is Austin, Texas. A phenomenal, very fun track to drive, if you were to ask me. And I hope you guys are excited to join us there next week. But I've been your commentator and host here today, Wild Hero, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.